Hi, vintage bakers! Today I'm in the kitchen making rich, cream-filled chocolate eclairs.
The perfect combination of delicately crisp golden choux pastry filled with velvety smooth pastry cream or thick whipped cream, topped with a glossy layer of decadent chocolate.
These personal-sized treats are relatively easy to make, and you can impress your friends and family with your French bakery-worthy skills with these decadent-filled pastries. If pastry cream isn't your thing, this versatile airy choux pastry can be filled with any number of sweet or savory fillings, like whipped cream or lemon curd. Perfect for any occasion, add a little simple decoration to dress them up as simply or intricately as you'd like.
So let's get into the kitchen. This is how I make homemade chocolate eclairs.
I'm going to start this recipe with the dough for my eclairs. In a medium saucepot over medium-high heat, I'm going to add in 2/3 of a cup of butter, 3/4 of a cup of milk, and 3/4 of a cup of water. Melt this together along with 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. While stirring, bring the mixture to a simmer. Then reduce the heat to medium-low and add in 1 2/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to keep stirring this until the flour is incorporated and makes a smooth, soft dough ball that cleans the sides of the pot. Now that my dough is formed, I'm going to remove it from the heat. Now I need to cool the dough down a little bit so that I can add in the eggs. Using a stand mixer with the paddle attachment or a large bowl with beaters, place the dough into the bowl and mix on medium for about a minute. Now with my mixer still going, I'm going to add in 5 eggs, one at a time, and beat well after each addition. And I'm left with a smooth, thick batter that I'm going to use to make the eclairs. To easily form the pastries, I'm going to transfer my dough into a very large piping bag with a large circular tip. If you don't have a piping bag, you can use a large freezer bag and cut a hole in the corner. Onto a lined baking sheet, pipe out a line of dough with firm and steady pressure. Depending on how large you'd like your finished eclairs to be, pipe out a line of dough a little smaller than you'd like the finished eclairs. They're going to puff up to almost double their size in the oven. Make sure to leave about an inch of space in between each piped eclair to give them enough space as they expand. As I'm piping, you'll notice a little point of dough left by the tip of the pastry bag. I'm going to need to smooth this down before going into the oven so the little ends don't burn. To do this, dip your finger into a small glass of water and smooth down the points at the end of the dough. And my eclairs are ready to go into my preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. I'm going to bake them for 10 minutes at this high temperature to give them that big burst of heat which will help them puff up. Then reduce the temperature to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius and continue to bake for another 15 minutes or until the eclairs are golden brown and feel very light and airy. Classically, to fill eclairs, you can either use a simple whipped cream or a rich pastry cream. I'm going to make pastry cream today, but if you've chosen to go with something else, then skip ahead to filling the pastries. To start the pastry cream, in a saucepot over medium heat, add in 2 cups of milk. Add in the seeds from 1 vanilla bean. You can also use vanilla bean paste or 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Allow the mixture to just start to steam and then remove it from the heat. Set it aside for the milk to steep with the vanilla. Now to a bowl, add 1/3 of a cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and 6 egg yolks. Whisk this together until you have a creamy mixture. Now I'm going to temper the eggs with my hot milk, which just means to allow the egg yolks to come up to temperature slowly, which will prevent them from scrambling in the bowl. While whisking constantly, slowly and gradually pour about a cup of the milk into the egg mixture. Continue to pour in milk until you have about half of it into the eggs. Then pour the whole mixture back into the pot. Return this to the stove over medium heat. While whisking constantly, watch for the changes in the consistency of the mixture. The pastry cream will start to thicken and become glossy. As soon as you see a few bubbles from it starting to simmer, remove it from the heat. Add and whisk in a quarter cup of cold butter. This will immediately cool and stop the cooking process and will add a creamy, velvety texture to the mixture. Now I'm going to transfer the pastry cream to a bowl and allow it to cool. I'm placing a piece of plastic wrap right on top of the cream to prevent a skin from forming. Once it's at room temperature, it's ready to pipe into the pastries. My favorite way to fill eclairs is to place the filling in a pastry bag with a small tip or a small hole cut at the bottom. And again, you can make your own pastry bag with a large sandwich bag with a hole cut in the corner. You can also slice the top third of the pastry and pipe the cream into the bottom of the eclair. This is a great way to showcase a thick, stiff filling like whipped cream. To fill the pastry without cutting it open, poke 3 holes into the top of the eclair with a skewer. Place the tip of the pastry bag through each hole and pipe full of cream. You won't be able to see the cream going inside, but you'll be able to feel the heaviness in the eclair, which will tell you that it's full. Continue on with the rest of the eclairs until all are filled with your filling of choice. The classic topping for this dessert is chocolate. I'm going to use a simple melted semi-sweet chocolate. This is going to dry quickly and turn into a semi-solid chocolate coating. You can melt your chocolate either in a double boiler in short bursts in the microwave or use a small crock pot. If your oven is still warm from baking the pastries, put the chocolate in an oven-proof dish and leave it inside the oven turned off but still warm inside. Dip the top of each eclair into the chocolate and set aside for it to set and cool. At this point, before the chocolate has started to dry, you can add on any decorations, like festive sprinkles. You could also melt a little white chocolate and pipe a design on top. Or leave these tempting pastries just as they are. Enjoy! If you're a fan of deliciously simple vintage recipes and old-fashioned skills, then you'll want to check out this next video. Thanks for stopping by.